Hello everyone, my name is Redwan. Welcome to another tutorial. In this tutorial, I'll be showing you how I create my Flutter project and my document folder structure where I put each widget and everything to make easy accessible large feature based applications. So I'll be creating a new project here in the Android Studio. So you click on the file new, then new Flutter project. So it's going to come here. Make sure it's selected as Flutter and click on next. So let me call this tested. Yeah, so you can change this location or use any other location. So I'll just use my own location. Yeah, so let me do this. Then I'm going to create which of the platforms, but I don't want to create all of the. Let's leave only Android for now. And for organization, you change this example to either your domain. So I'm going to change this to Roy Innov. So you can give a description if you want, and when everything is set, click on create, and this is going to create a new Flutter project. So wait for that to create. So I'm going to open this in a new window. Yeah, so now it's going to build out the project. Now you can see we have our project up and running. Yeah, so let me drag this. Okay, going to say yes. So here we have our normal folder structure in Flutter, which the dat to the .idea, Android, lib, test, and all of these, the popspec.yaml, and that's it. So all our stuff go into the lib folder. So what we're going to do, the first thing I usually do is to make sure I create all the folder structure that are needed for me to start building my app. So this makes much easier. So first I'm going to create bindings, basically because I'm using getx. I use getx for almost all my projects. So I'm going to create a new directory and I'm going to call these bindings. So yeah, that will be my first folder, and I'm going to create another folder called common. So this folder houses all the common stuff like widgets and styles. So I'm just going to create a new folder here called widgets. So these widgets are what you can use in any part of your project. So I'm going to create the new one called styles. So if you're creating any extra style or stuff like that, which is not like a drop shadow style that you don't want to use in maybe some of the part of your rounded containers or so. So you can create a style where you can just easily just use it anywhere you want in the application. So done with the common folder. So the next one is going to be data. So like the name is data. So this is going to house our repositories and services basically. So I'm going to create the folder for repositories. Yeah, so we have repositories, then we'll have a new folder called services. So these services can be maybe a team service, or maybe you create a database SQL flight database which you want to keep there. Those are part of your services, your data, anything with database basically. So that is it for data, and the next one is going to be features. So I create this one basically to house all my features in the app. So this is where all the screens and everything is going to go into. So where we have let me see, we'll create a folder. Let's say I'm creating an application which has to do with authentication. So in my features, I'm going to create an authentication folder. Yeah. So this house all of the stuffs for my authentication, and I can create other features like personalization. This has to do with um, what's it called? Personalization can house your settings, yeah, your settings and the rest. So then I usually have an additional folder which is called localization. So this localization can be for your language settings basically, and I'm going to create another one for the main feature. So let's say I'm creating an app for health. So let me just health, something about health. You can have any name, but basically let me use the word health here. I'll change this to small letter. Okay, so health, that's my main project. So here house everything that has to do with the home page and everything. So authentication. So you just need to create all of this structure, but for I'm going to use this health as the main stuff to show you the subfolders and all of that that needs to be there. So inside this health I can create what's it called? I can create my folder structure for controllers. So I have my controllers, then I'm going to create models, and I'm going to create screens. So basically this is what we're going to be having in each of this folder. You can have same thing in authentication, have same thing in localization, you have same thing in personalization. So in my health, which is the main folder, I'll have controllers. So controllers deals with whatever we do with our data in this data folder. So I have repository, which I'm going to create different repositories like authentication repository if it has to do with um, health repository and the rest. So that's how I undo my data. So if I'm using Firebase, so I just create all of them within the repository, then access those data, that's adding or getting the data and all of that. Then we use the controller to undo those data, what we want to use that data for. So it's much easier to break all of this. So the models, basically going to create our model, but with ID, name, title, all of that will be what we're going to have in our model. So this model will usually use them in either repositories or and also access them within controllers. So the next one is screens. So inside the screens we can have um, our home. Yeah, so let me just create a home. So it can have home, which is going to be the home screen. Yeah, for my application. So when a user opens the app, like if we've gone past through authentication, the first page is the home screen. So that's how it's all done. So this how my folder structure is. Then the other one which I'm going to create outside of all of these is we can have routes, create routes or routes. So I'm going to create route, then create utils, create utils. So now these folders have their own part. So if you're using getx or any other platform, you can undo your route within this folder. So like I think I can have my app route and route. So this one I'm going to undo all my routes within this folder. And utils comprise of many things that you need within the application. You can have a folder called constants. So constants basically can house all the stuff that are constantly used, like API, if it's colors, or if you have a predefined sizes and all of that, or images. Instead of having to call image, you can call your image within this constant folder. You can have a folder called exceptions or helpers. You can have a folder for HTTP, which you're going to put your HTTP calls like get, reads, and all of that. You can create for theme folder, your theme folder that handles your dark mode, light mode, and many other things you want to do. If it's local storage, if it's formatters, validators, just put them into the utils folder. Just create a folder for them, and you create that file, and that's it. So now you can see this project is just normally when you create a new project, this is what you have as a boilerplate. So going to create, we have the main.dat. Just to make this a bit more neat, I usually create a new dat file. I call this app. So since I'm already using that, I don't need to put that there. So we have this for app. So basically what we have here we have here for main and all of that, we just call them within this what's it called, the app file. So I'm going to show you a quick one. I'm going to create a stateless. Let's say we have this. Yeah, can just cut this out. So then we'll move it into this place. Yeah, so you can call it my app, you can call it app. So I'm going to remove this and call it app. So I'm just going to call material. Okay, and this is the home page. I know we have the home page from main.dat. So when we have all of these, we can just, all you need to do within here is, if you have theme, you have the Flutter name and all of that, and the home, you control of this within the app. So the next one, which is the main, so the main still remains the same, which is this. So since we've removed that, so we just have app. So we call this, so anything we want to run within here, we just put them here, like let's see, widget binding. I'm just going to call widget binding. So we just call the normal widget binding for widgets. Yeah, and that's it. So we just Flutter binding, then ensure all of that. If you want to initialize any other thing here, you just keep creating them here. So for this home page, let's see, just to make your code a bit cleaner. So yeah, so for home page, you remember we have well, we inside else, I created this here. So you can create a new dat file called screen. Yeah, I'm just going to paste that code here, call material, and that's it. So in the app here, we can then change this to this. We no longer have that in the made of that. So now we have our code all neat and clean. Initialize can so basically you can initialize anything within this page. Yeah, so your code is a bit clean. What we have here is what we're calling bindings, your initialization. If you're initializing any stuff before the app loads and all of that, you do that here. Then you have your app where you get your project name and where you call all the other stuffs. You use routes, including route and the rest. You call everything here, so you can manage everything here. So that's basically how I create my folder structure, so this way your app looks neat. So, and one more thing is your navigation. Apps that have the navigation menu, you can as well create a navigation menu um, outside and call it navigation menu. So navigation menu, you can just call it outside here and create your normal navigation here from here. So you can easily call your navigation within the app. So you basically, normally if you're using GetX, navigation will be loaded immediately the app loads. So, and it's persistent all through the app. So that's why it's much easier creating it here. It makes your code neat. If you have any issue with navigation, you can just come down here and you make those changes. If it's for bindings, where you bind everything, get.put everything within here, you just have your general binding. You can name it anything, but you can call it general binding. So you just have everything here. Then and that's it basically. This way we are able to follow through your folder structure. It's much easier. You have a new feature, you can create a new feature which is outside, just like we have our authentication. The health, which is the main structure, what encompasses the app, what the app does. You can create everything and all your folder structure for each feature within this health folder screens. So you can have many of that. Your localization, you're handling that separately for localization and personalization. Your settings, profile, you can create them within this personalization folder, and your app looks neat and easy to read for you yourself. I hope I've been able to explain and show you what you could integrate going forward in your applications and make your coding easier and more cleaner. Thank you very much for watching this tutorial. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and also share with your friends so they can also have much impact in what we're learning here in Flutter. So think, believe, and develop the future. Thank you. Bye.